we got our hands on a little something early. Doesn't come out till February 7th, but who wants a taste?
This week on the podcast, we are thrilled to be doing a little sneak peek of something coming out on February 7th. Mm-hmm. What is that, John?
It is just the hottest, most anticipated, groundbreaking, earth-shattering, mind-blowing piece of written literature ever put into a book.
We wish.
But that's not coming out on the 7th. What is coming out is our book. How to Attack Debt, Build Savings, and Change the World Through Generosity, a Catholic Guide to Managing Your Money.
Yes, we are thrilled to have this finally be coming to fruition. We finished writing this book over a year ago, and there were, the same old story with everything in this last year. Supply line delays, paper shortages, the books, sat in shipping containers,
everything.
All the things. But it is finally here, finally ready to make its debut into the world. We are so excited for those of you who have pre-ordered. We'll share more details about that after we do a little sneak peek reading. But we thought, we've got a few weeks till the book comes out. Why not do a little bit of live reading and get you a sneak peek into the beginning of the book?
Yes. So
that's what we're going to do today.
Pre-order your copy sent to you by going to WalletWin.com/book. But even if you do that, you won't get it as fast as right now, which is what we're going to do, is give you the introduction.
We are.
Give you the Jumpstart on your book.
Yep. And Jonathan and I wrote it going back and forth in our conversation. So in the introduction, I start, and then Jonathan will finish it off. And then we do that throughout the entire book. So without further ado,
I'm going to start with the copyright page.
Okay. That's nice and dry. That's lovely and entertaining.
Should we start though with the
You can go ahead if you want.
What's it called?
It seems like you're proud of that.
It
was written.
Dedication.
Yes, the dedication is written by Jonathan.
There we go. I think you wrote it, but I may have tweaked it a little bit.
You certainly tweaked it.
So
I would not have said many of these things.
Dedication. To our entire WalletWin community, that's you. Thank you for inviting us to walk with you in creating financial peace.
I said that part.
And to Josephine, Charlotte, and Eleanor, our daughters. It's the greatest honor and privilege of our lives to be your parents.
I think that's where I stopped writing.
Even when we're wiping noses or getting puked on, we cherish every unicorn, Lego, crayon, Narnia-infused minute of it.
And that's where you wrote.
I don't think it was wiping noses when I wrote it.
That got edited out.
Hey, the editing process, right?
All right, here we go. Introduction. All right, I'm just going to hold it out here. Actually, I'm so sorry. I'm trying to hold it in such a way where the mic is not blocking the view. All right, here we are. Have you ever looked back in shock on certain events in your life, realizing that God teed the whole thing up long before you realized He was even at work? I had that moment when someone asked about the first time I met my husband, Jonathan. We had known one another for many years before we started dating, so I'd never really reflected on our very first meeting. But when I recalled the memory, I laughed at how obvious God was being with my vocation in that moment. It was June of 2008, and I'd graduated from the University of Nebraska with a bachelor's in nursing a few weeks prior. However, I did not take a nursing position straight out of college. I wanted to work in campus ministry, and so accepted a job with Focus, the Fellowship of Catholic University Students. New staff training was that summer in North Carolina, and my introverted personality was completely overwhelmed with meeting hundreds of new people. Working as a missionary with Focus meant we fundraised 100% of our income. You read that right. We relied completely on the generosity of others to earn a living. This terrified me, as it does many. and I was dreading the first infamous mission partner development training, aka learning how to ask people for money without feeling weird about it in a culture that totally feels weird about it. The evening was hot and muggy as I gathered my books, said a prayer, and headed across campus for my first official fundraising class. As I walked, I fought down nausea and could feel knots forming in my stomach. Or was it just the bad dorm food? To say I felt nervous would be an understatement. In the months prior to this moment, several family members and friends tried to talk me out of this job. They were certain I would fail at fundraising and that nobody would support me. They even went on to say I was an embarrassment to the family for forgoing their traditional route of getting a secure and stable paying nursing job, that I was choosing to be a shameful beggar. I knew this wasn't true, as many people support all sorts of nonprofits and their staff members, but I started doubting myself. Was I capable of this? Could I come out of my introverted shell and be so bold to ask someone to partner with me financially with this mission? Would I be able to raise enough to not only eat and keep a roof over my head, but pay my student loans back or save for my future? Questions and doubts swirled as I clenched my fists and began walking even faster to class. Halfway to the intimidating concrete building in which class was being held, with my anxiety mounting, I decided that if I made sure to take fundraising class seriously, I'd be all right. That would mean taking copious notes every class, practicing pitches for hours, making sure I did every single assignment, and booking as many appointments as possible. There would be no joking around for me that summer. I was there to prove my doubtful family and friends and myself wrong. As I got closer, I heard music behind me. I stopped in my tracks and turned around to see some guy with elbow-length hair and a laptop propped up on his shoulder like a boombox. Out of the speakers, "For the Love of Money" by the OJs was blaring. You know how it goes, right? Money, 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 money! Money! My jaw dropped as this surfer dude with his boombox danced, obliviously swaying past me and up to the building. I bet that guy fails at fundraising, was my next thought as I shot judgy eyes in his direction. He's clearly not taking this as seriously as I am. He's doomed financially. I went inside, grabbed a seat as far from the jokester as I could, and I got ready to work. As I reflect on that moment, I can't help but smile. So much of my future was wrapped into that one encounter, but I was clueless at the time. Little did I know that 4 years later I would go on to marry the one and only Jonathan Texera, otherwise known as the surfer-haired jokester dude who was actually a landlocked Pennsylvania boy. I also had no idea that finances would not be the wedge that drove us apart, but would instead be the single biggest unifying factor early in our marriage. Certainly, I wouldn't have believed that we'd go on to help tens of thousands of others create financial peace in their lives by starting WalletWin, our own company dedicated to teaching people what mom and dad didn't about money. But that's exactly what happened, and it's one heck of a story. You'll hear more of how it all unfolded and the lessons we learned along the way in the chapters ahead. Through WalletWin, we offer resources and tools for smart money management, and we have built a welcoming community of like-minded folks working toward their goals and helping one another along the way. This book is designed to be both an introduction to the WalletWin method of managing your finances and also the perfect companion when you're ready to take action. Our aim in this book is to give you hope, encouragement, and a step-by-step plan to winning with money without losing your soul. You won't find a collection of one-off life hacks that will allow you to scrimp and save your way to riches so you can swim in a vault of money Scrooge McDuck style. Instead, this is your comprehensive guide to stewarding your finances with peace and wisdom. Unlike your typical stuffy financial book, your journey ahead in our book is full of humor, real-life examples, simple yet effective strategies, and complete transparency, and no judgy eyes looking your way. What do we mean by winning with money anyway? Winning with money isn't owning 3 yachts, making it rain at Michelin-starred restaurants, or taking exotic island vacations every month. Winning with money means living with peace of mind. How? By making a budget that'll work for you instead of the other way around, by uninviting Visa and Sally Mae to the party and freeing your income from endless debt payments, by embracing the freedom to say yes to where God leads, since your bank account isn't screaming no in His face. By realizing that money isn't bad or good, but rather a tool that can be a blessing, not only in your own life, but in the entire world when used the right way.
Hey, Jonathan here. I remember the lead up to that class a little differently. Well, it's probably true that I wasn't as serious of a fundraising student as Amanda. I was just as deliberate in how I came to class. Yes, I swayed my way to class, laptop boombox on my shoulder, playing For the Love of Money, as loud as my MacBook's tiny speakers could handle. But it wasn't to make fun of the situation, it was to have fun with it. I figured a few of my fellow missionaries might be nervous about the class. And hearing Amanda's version, I was right. And if I could help them smile and have a little fun, they might do better. Which, come to think of it, describes part of what makes WalletWin WalletWin. We know that just thinking about money can make some folks anxious and upset. So we do our best to make learning about your finances and managing your money not just informative and helpful, but fun and entertaining. We do all this because we believe that your personal finances are important. Money colors and impacts so many aspects of your life and relationships. That's the big deal. We want you to have your money in order, not for your money's sake, but for your own sake, and that of the whole world. You were created for greatness, to have life and have it to the full, to be loved and to love others well. Without the shackles of money stress weighing you down, you can more easily become who you were created to be. Financial pressure kills creativity, destroys relationships, ruins lives, wreaks havoc on health, and chokes out generosity. We don't want that for you. We want you to thrive. We wrote this book to help you get intentional with your money so that you can be a blessing to yourself, family, friends, community, and the world. Got a little deep there, didn't we? Money can be serious stuff, but don't worry. We'll keep it fun, informative, entertaining, inspiring, and practical as we go along. Buckle up, because here we go. Scene.
Well, there you have it. That is the opening introduction to the brand new book that is debuting on February 7th. And I always loved writing that chapter or that introduction. I loved rereading it as we were, going through the editing process. I love reading it out loud now, just because it truly is so funny to me how we first met and how much of our future together was wrapped into that moment. And I could not have seen it coming. You certainly.
I didn't see anything coming.
Neither of us saw it coming. Neither of us, if we were judging the other book by the cover, would have picked the other book, right? That certainly wouldn't have happened. So a series of little tiny graces and miracles over the next few years allowed us to really see the other person as they truly were. And I think it was, totally just God's grace that even led us to finances being a big unifying factor of our first year of marriage. And, even as I've reflected on that, I've often wondered, we've carried the cross of infertility now for 10 years. Had we not had that cross, and our first year of marriage might have looked very differently. Our 1-year anniversary might not have been celebrating debt-free in Rome on an anniversary trip. It could have been life at home with a newborn. Would our story have turned out different? I don't know. I kind of gander it would have. Yeah. And so this story, what it echoes back to me, and feel free to jump in here eventually. I'm just on a tear here. Is that, God really does use all things for good.
Mm-hmm.
He really does. Even the things that he allows that are painful and hard in our lives, eventually there is good that can be brought out of literally every suffering. And I couldn't have seen that at one point in my life. I would never have thought infertility could be anything but just a curse and a burden. To actually see there be positive fruits from my life that have now been able to spill out and bless other lives. I love that. I love that. So this story echoes that back to me.
Yeah, and that might be the case with you and your finances. You might view your current financial situation as a pain, as a curse, as a burden on you. And it might very well be, not that you're just making it up in your head, but it might be a pretty rough spot that you're in or have been in. But through that spot and through understanding more about your finances and what money is all about and how to use it well, how to, as we outlined it, win with money, not the, monthly vacations and all this stuff, but actually living your life. That money is a tool that allows you to live your life instead of getting in the way, that you're able to give, that you're able to reduce the stress and invest in your relationships, all that stuff. If you're able to learn how to do that, and then that's going to be a blessing. But that journey on the way there, you're going to learn so many things, and money colors everything. And so when you start learning about money, you start learning how to handle it, you start making progress in gaining those skills and those virtues. Well, that spills in all other parts of your life, right? Other parts of having, self-control or temperance or saying no, or identifying what your top priority is, and then say no to the other stuff so you can say yes to that one. You can do that in all the different areas of your life, not just your money. When you learn to do it with your money, you then have that skill. You're able to do it in other parts of your life. So infertility, yes, stinks. But there's ways that it can be used, and ways there's a silver lining to every cloud, right? That's the thing. And so understanding more about your money, there's all these other, offshoots of blessing that come along with handling your money well and learning how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's why we wrote this stinking thing, to help you do it.
It is. A lot of times people will ask us, when did you start feeling at peace with money? Is it now, over 10 years into the journey? We've been debt free now for over 9 years. We've had emergency savings established long ago. We've been able to start investing for our future and watch that net worth grow. We've been able to buy homes. Is it now? And the answer is absolutely not. We started to feel at peace with our money within 90 days of just taking simple action steps of creating a budget. We didn't have any of the numbers behind us back then that we do now, and I don't feel any more at peace, if that makes sense. I'm content and happy that our plan has continued to work as time's gone on, but the peace can begin right away in taking those first baby steps. For many of you, if money has been a source of confusion or stress or worry or pressure, just picking up this book and starting to read it, you will feel weights fall off your back, just because you're simply getting tools in your life that are going to help you figure out the thing that you feel is a problem. And so that is what we want to give you. We want to give you the gift of hope. We want to give you peace and joy in the journey, just as Jonathan said. So head on over to WalletWin.com/book, and you can pre-order now. Now, there are a few benefits to pre-ordering.
Yeah, you get your book right away. We've been told by the publisher, even sometimes, this is kind of maybe a bit of a toss-up, but even, Amazon will get it to you on release day, sometimes
a little
bit early. So you can brag to your friends maybe that you got something, early, or at least right away. And talking about gifts, well, we got a couple extra gifts, extra bonus resources for folks who pre-order the book. You can learn about those over at WalletWin.com/book.
Yeah, actually, so the few that are on there, I have them memorized. So I can share them right now. We have a few different ones. I'm going to save the best for last, or my personal favorite for last. First, we have a little Money Jumpstart course that's a companion guide for getting into the book and just getting it into action, implementing it right away. Kind of a, how to take this and really get a result quickly in your life. So we have a little video course for you. There is a second resource on why the world can't afford for you to be bad with money. So many things are counting on you getting this right. And you might not have been aware of that until now, but we want to tell you why and what is actually hanging in the balance between you and getting your money right. And then last and certainly not least, how to get paid to go on vacation. This is my favorite because who doesn't want to get paid to go on vacation? I mean, the Texeras, there's plenty of times we just pay to go on vacation. That's fine. We've done that many times. But the times when we actually come back having made more than we spent, oh, that's fun. Those are really, really fun vacations. And we go into detail in this resource. We're going to actually do it live. So we've done this in the past, but we're going to do this workshop live for every single person who pre-orders. So you're going to be able to ask us questions. We're going to share different specific strategies and details of all the things that we use to get paid to go on vacation. And then you'll get to interact with us live as well. The date on that will be yet to be determined, but it'll be coming shortly after the book comes out.
Yes.
And if you go over there and you pre-order, there is an opportunity to then submit your information on your pre-order. And in the next week or two, we'll begin releasing those pre-order bonuses. So stay tuned for those. Again, head on over to WalletWin.com/book, pre-order your copy now, and let us know when you get it. Share on social media that you got your book. Tag us at WalletWin, wherever you are on social media, and show us your reaction to getting this bad boy out of the bag. That's assuming it came from the Amazon bag, which is most people.
Most books, yes. Thank you for joining us today on the WalletWin podcast. You can find us anytime in your favorite podcast app or at walletwin.com/podcast.
Until next time, bye for now.